Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today guys, we are going to talk about Boosh, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, which is a domestic thriller. And to her credit, this is really the domestic thriller, from what I understand. I could be wrong. I don't have a lot of, my identity is not based on understanding domestic thriller lore and mythos, so just let me know if I'm wrong. But from what I understand, Gone Girl was the progenitor of the modern domestic thriller, where a bunch of insane, ridiculous stuff happens, and there's ridiculous twists and stuff. So yeah, Gone Girl. Let me go ahead and preface. I have a soft spot for these domestic thrillers. This is the fourth one I've read. And the first one was Behind Closed Doors, which was very dumb. The stuff, it's I have a review if you want to see how dumb it is. Then I read Behind Her Eyes, which I did not review, but I guess people would have thought it was but I was like, this is dumb. And then one of my top books of last year was The Wife Stalker by Liv Constantine, and it's all its hot pink glory. And I couldn't stop reading that thing. I had to know. And it was also dumb. This is their mother. This is the one that raised those three. And it is... whatever. Without wasting any more time. Let's get down to business. Let's talk about Gone Girl. So, I'm going to start at the beginning without spoilers, and then those of you who have read it, you just stay here, and we'll talk about the issues with this book. First and foremost, this book is too long. So, it's hard to show you. Let me see if I can find it. Where's one of my dang... I don't know. Hold on. So, Behind Her Eyes and Behind Closed Doors and The Wife Stalker. First of all, Behind Her Eyes is 400 pages, but it's one of these horrible skinny paperbacks. And here's the text, right here. There's your text. Is that gonna focus? Look at that. So there's your text in your spacing, whatever. Sorry, I spoiled whatever's on page 94. And then we have The Wife Stalker, which is 300 pages. And here, this is the text here. Now, Gone Girl is 400 pages. Gone Girl's 400 pages. But, this is the text. There are so many words on these pages. So many words on these. It is the word, and it does not need to be this wordy. It is about Nick and Amy Dunn. And Amy disappears. And it is told from Nick's perspective of finding her gone, and then Amy's perspective via journals from when they met up to that point. Guys, this book, these are two of the most unlikable human beings that has ever existed in a book ever. Nick is an absolute, just brutish man-child douchebag who can't get over the fact that his mom died and his dad was mean to him growing up and can't do anything without his mommy, has a super weird relationship with his sister. So if y'all seen an episode of Friends where Rachel starts going on a date with Danny, who's was the Yeti or whatever, and then she breaks up with him because him and his sister wrestle and they bathe together or whatever.
I'm gonna get you.
That's their vibe. Their vibe is so much that Nick even says early on, oh, some people have accused us of twin cess. It's the only reason you're defending that, why would people accuse you of that? Why do you feel the need to address that? The fact that you're addressing what other people say about that, perhaps you and your twin are too close. Perhaps you guys give off weird vibes. All right. Now, his twin sister's name is Margot, but he calls her Go. Guys, never in the history of humankind has the name Margot been shortened to Go. Ever. Ever. And go is a word. So every time you see someone say go, you're like, oh, okay. Like, it takes a fraction of a second to realize it's not an imperative. Like, you're not telling someone to do something. Instead, you're talking to someone named Go. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, guys. Additionally, Amy, her job, so they were both writers in New York, and then the internet came and they lost their job. And Nick's all pissed, right? Well, Amy's job, and her only job, was she wrote quizzes inside her for a magazine, for like a women's magazine, like Cosmo. That's what she did. That was her whole job. That was her whole job. The problem is that, guys, her quizzes are terrible. Like, she has little sample quizzes in her little journals. And did you ever have a teacher? Of course you did. If you had a teacher that did multiple choice, many teachers have patterns within their multiple choice. Here's your test taking tip also, guys. Unless it's one of those tests that, it's figured out the meta and always has an all of the above or none of the above. Most tests, like online especially, these piece of garbage tests, if there is an all of the above option, it's that. Just pick that. If there's a none of the above option, pick that. Like, that's the only reason anybody includes an all of the above, unless they include it in every question. Seriously, just pick all of the above. That's almost always the answer. There's your test taking skills. What Amy does, every answer is the last one. Like, because she's trying to make a point. So, like, the correct answer is always D or C. However many choices you got. She got 3, it's C. If you got 4, it's D. Always. That's always the answer. Like, no wonder you don't have a job. Because everyone's taking your quizzes and they're just like, oh, well, that's the answer. That's the right answer. I guess I'll pick D. Because it's like, okay, all right, guys. So, your husband comes home and, is a little drunk. So, what do? A, attack him with a meat cleaver. B, scream at him until he can't hear anymore. C, just give him the silent treatment for 3 months at a time. Or D, put him to bed and make him feel comfortable and then address it in the morning. Like, that's stupid. That's stupid. In addition, problem with this book is that it is one of the smuggest books I have ever read. Guys, Nick is smug. Amy is smug. Gillian Flynn is smug. The writing is smug. Like, the writing, like, winks at you and goes, little comment.
Little comment.
Like, it just feels like someone is trying to be clever at you. And so what we have are two insufferable characters that I don't care about. Now, as a thriller, it is slow to start. This book is 3 parts. It is 3 parts. And part 1 is very slow. There's a lot of buildup as we learn about Nick and Amy and Go and the disappearance or whatever. So it's very slow building and it's almost insufferable. I almost quit. Like, seriously, I don't know when it was, but I need to look at my Discord. But I told my people in my Discord that I don't know if I can keep reading this. But once it hits and starts moving, it is a runaway freight train, y'all. Because as dumb as I think this book is, it is infinitely readable. And so, what is the point of a book? Like, what is the point of the reading experience? Go watch Joanna's series, Why Read? I don't know. Because I enjoyed the crap out of most of this book. Like, where it went, what was happening, some of this stuff is so dumb that you can't help but just like, I gotta figure out, like, what next dumb thing's gonna happen. I started reading this on a lark and went on vacation with my family. And I stayed up till like 1 a.m. I read the last 100 pages of this in the bathtub because it was cold. And so I climbed in the shower, the tub, and I ran the shower with the hot water on, and I laid there, like, with the book out of the water, and I read it. Everyone else was asleep to finish it. And I was up too late, which is probably why I'm still sick. But I just had to know. So, as a domestic thriller, and especially since this was one of the early adopters of this kind of, method of storytelling, it succeeds. It succeeds in what it sets out to do. but I just found it so obnoxious at times. So guys, I don't even know how do you even judge a book like this? So if you like domestic thrillers and you haven't read Gone Girl, like I don't know what's wrong with you. Go read Gone Girl. Like I definitely recommend it for people who like fast-paced reads, who are okay with dealing with insufferable people as you know, find out, like follow the twisty turny actions. I definitely recommend it. And you know what? It helped kind of lubricate the wheels of reading between, I don't know what I was between reading or whatever, but it was very, very fast and I enjoyed the heck out of it. I think it was dumb and it is my least, not my least favorite. I think I like it better than, I think Behind Her Eyes is my least favorite of the domestic thrillers I've read. But I don't think I enjoyed it more than Behind Closed Doors, which is dumb. There are too many words, and too many of the words in Gone Girl they're not needed. They are there to say things in an obnoxious way, for an obnoxious turn of phrase, or to repeat some mantra about how annoying these people are. It does not need to be that long. Like it just does not. In fact, I don't like part 3. I wish part 2 was I wish part 1, part 2, and part 3 was gone. And then part 2 ended different. That's what I wish. It's too long. But you should read it. If you've read it, and so there you go. Go away if you haven't read it. Go. Like that's your last warning, because I'm about to start talking about what I think they should have fixed with it. What a ridiculous book. All right, you gone? Okay, cool. So guys, what? You scared the crap out of me. The crap out of me. Crap is everywhere. You scared the crap out of me. All right, let me finish talking to these people. Whoa! Oh, you're good. Nothing. I thought the thing was falling. So, part 2. When we find out that it was all a setup and that the journal was written in order. Guys, the fact that Amy is an absolute, like, bat crazy psychopath, I loved it. I was here for it. I was just like full speed ahead. And guys, I know she's insane. I didn't care. Like, I was like, here we go, Amy. All I wanted to see. Like, I loved watching the pieces fall into play as Nick is going to prison forever. Like, that is all I wanted out of part 2, was it didn't matter that we were told what she did right at the beginning of part 2. I was on board for watching every explanation, for every clue placed in order to damn Nick and, you know, condemn him to perdition for all eternity. I was here for it. Like, I did not care if we were just going to walk through the beats and it was going to slam the door at the end. And then it didn't do that. Instead, we got this weird thing where, for some reason, Amy trusts the trailer park people, which doesn't make any sense considering the low profile she's trying to keep. And she clearly doesn't need human interaction because she's an insane person. So she's not like regular humans. It doesn't make any sense why she, you know, went along with them and didn't just like keep a low profile. And then I guess she's insane, so we're supposed to believe that, you know, she, you know, whatever. So part 3, when she comes back, guys, like, there is suspension of disbelief and then there is suppression of disbelief. I didn't coin that phrase. I read it in someone talking about 24 season 7. It beggars belief. Her returning in season 3 because she's trying to make a life with Nick or whatever, and, you know, straight up murdered her weird little, my darling, I'll keep you in glass forever and I'll bring you whatever. Like, what is all of that? There is no way that the cops just let her walk. Like, it's like, oh, but I figured everything out so the cops can't do anything. That is bullcrap. Those cops will arrest her, and there is plenty of circumstantial evidence to leave that woman in jail. Like, no one in the book, only the cop. She's the only one that doesn't believe her. Only the one cop that doesn't believe her, and then Nick who gets the proof. Oh, absolutely ridiculous that she is not thrown in jail. Like, beggars belief. And then it ends. And then it ends Chris is about to leave. The whole thing that he wrote. And then he's about to leave, and she's like, I'm pregnant. Because I impregnated myself with the sperm that was frozen 4 years ago when we were like, what is this book? What is this book? Anyway, I didn't like part 3. I thought part 3 just was just beyond the pale. But let me tell you, like, the payoff in book 2 for the book 1 nonsense was so good until it started going off the rails. That alone. Like, that was excellent. That's how you should write a thriller. Don't do this other crap. And it would have been shorter. Oh, it would have been amazing. Would have been amazing. So, that book, that Gone Girl fixed. Boom, 5 stars, easy. This book, not 5 stars. At any rate, have you read Gone Girl? What do you think was ridiculous about this? Do you hate both of them? Did you like this book? Did you hate this book? If you hate this book, is it because you don't like fun? Is it? Anyway. That's it for me for today, guys. As always, information on my Patreon and Discord is down in the description, and I'll see you next time, guys.